Hey folks, welcome back. My name is Krishna. If you're new to the channel, welcome. This time around I'm going to share with you some techniques that you can use to make an overhead cityscape similar to what you see here. And what this is going to involve is, first of all, creating a brush. And we're going to use this brush to go ahead and create this overhead view. So let's start off by, first of all, going to File, New. We're going to go ahead and make a 1000 by 1000 pixel canvas. We're going to go ahead and make this on a transparent background, and we'll keep the resolution at 600 pixels per inch. And this is what we're going to do. We're going to create our brush. We're going to use the rectangle tool, and we're simply going to hold down the shift key and create a bunch of rectangular shapes. And I'll fill this in with red so you can see what I'm actually doing here. Just going to go ahead and make some large, medium, small types of rectangles. And what I like to do is I like to come back in with the polygon lasso tool and just break things up, much like you would see in a cityscape. Now this isn't perfect, but this is just to go ahead and show you how this technique will actually work. So now that we have some squares and some rectangles here to work with, we're going to go ahead and make this as a brush preset. We'll define this as a brush preset. I like to give my initial so I can easily find things if I want to go ahead and use it. So I'm using KMS, so I'm going to call this block brush. I'm going to call it 2 because I already have another one. Click OK, and you can see that that brush now takes on that specific shape. Now we're going to go back to a new canvas, and I'll just go ahead and make this a landscape canvas. And if we just apply this brush here, we can see that it's just, creating this kind of a stamp effect. What we're going to do is we're going to go up to the brush properties. We're going to click on it. We're going to adjust the shape dynamics. We'll change the size jitter. This controls how every version of this brush now will either go large, medium, or small. It'll add some randomness into its size. You can also choose to keep the angle jitter or change the angle jitter. I'm just going to leave that as is, and I'm just going to roll with what I have right here. So I'll just go ahead and make, oh, I forgot to do one more thing. Let's go back and let's flip jitter Y and flip jitter X. And this way it just makes things look a little bit less cookie cutter. So I'm just going to go ahead and just stamp out or hit the brush to make a random collection of blocks. Now what I'll do is I'll use the Command key on the Mac or Control key on Windows, and I will just click on the thumbnail preview for the layer, and I'll make a new layer. I'll fill this in with black. And I'll do it again. I want this to be as dark as possible. There we go. So now what I can do is I can use the transform tool, Command T. I'll choose perspective. I'll pull one of the corners out. I'll move it up a little bit. And so now you can see that this is beginning to look like an overhead view of our buildings. So what we need to do is we need to establish some perspective lines. And we've talked about this technique before. I'm just going to switch to one of my custom brushes here, available in Brush Pack Volume 2, the Obelix Inker, which is my favorite inking brush. And I'm just going to go ahead and make a straight line. I'll hit Command T. I'll move the pivot point, and I'm just going to adjust it like so. Now, because these are all irregularly placed, I might have to manually duplicate the line layer, move the pivot point, and kind of make some adjustments like so. This is the part where I think it's going to take more time, depending upon how you want to do this. And I'm not going to do this for the whole video, but you can get a sense of the general approach. So these are all going to converge to some vanishing point down below. I want to make sure that it looks like the lines are going to taper. And you'll simply rinse and repeat that particular process throughout. So what I'm going to do is just going to go ahead and freehand a few of these just so that you can see what this is going to look like. Notice that these lines will eventually taper. So as we get towards the middle, they're a little bit more parallel. And as we start to move to the left, we can see that they angle a little bit more. So I'm just doing this very quickly so you can see exactly how this is going to go ahead and shake out. There's obviously some buildings that are over here. So once I have that in place, I can just merge those layers together. And if I want to, I can go ahead and indicate some horizontal lines for certain buildings, just to go ahead and subdivide them. I can add some windows. I don't have to go overly detailed. There's some buildings in the background that I'll add some lines to. Just a hint of the fact that these buildings will actually end up moving down towards the city streets. And then whatever excess I have, I can just trim that off. And I have something that resembles a cityscape. Now, what I could do if I wanted to have a little bit more control over, instead of having a solid shape here, I can go back to the layer that contains these black outlines. If I command click on it, I can make a selection, make a new layer above it. I'll go to edit, I'll choose stroke, and I'll make this an outside stroke of say 4 pixels. Click OK, and I can hide the original layer. So now you can start to see a little bit more clearly what is going on here. We've got these actual strokes. So that's something else that you can also play with. I would also recommend, if you're going to go with something like this, you can, you don't have to fill every single line. You can add some black fills. So the way that I typically cheat that, I'll just add a few lines here, close my gaps. You can see how that's kind of pulling in. And so on and so forth. And you can always add some horizontal lines to add your windows. We talked about some of those techniques in some of the previous videos. But I think this can be really, really helpful. It can be a fast way of knocking something like this out. And it gives you the results that you're looking for. And what I always recommend is draw 1 or 2 buildings that are in the foreground so that you have a sense of foreground, midground, background. It gives it a little bit more, it breaks up this composition because it looks a little bit monotonous. The only one downside I would say with this particular technique is that all the buildings appear to be on the same size, but you can always intersperse buildings that you've drawn into this particular cityscape to add some height variation. So if you want to see more techniques regarding, making buildings and stuff like that, let me know in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching. I hope this was helpful, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.